and there's actually one structure that I actually, one sculpture that I wanted to come and see, and I said, esta vez sí lo voy a ir a ver, and of course I didn't see it.
Um,
Se llama El Ojo de México,
¿El
and
ojo de qué?
Mexico.
El Ojo de México.
Oh,
And what it is, you got to Google search it, but it's this sculpture, and it has like this new age technology stuff. So it's interactive virtual something or other. But I've been wanting to see it since the last two times I came, and for some reason or other, I haven't. Last time I came, I actually got to see it from far away, but it's not the same. You have to be like standing in the presence of it. It's new age, new wave. It's amazing. There's only two in the world, and Mexico has one of them.
Wow.
there's
In
an
Mexico.
ojo in Dallas.
Well, oh yes, there's an ojete in Brownsville.
There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those.
No, but let me say, and going into different structures, let me say one of the things that I think y'all will be or Kayla will be attending tomorrow is that structure that we have next to PUB, that new age, new wave, 50-60 million dollar structure that
Yeah.
they're still trying to figure out how to explain to us why we needed that building.
And how they
And
paid for it.
it's funny because, and look, I have a friend who I love. I love this friend of mine, and we had a little back and forth discussion this afternoon. And probably watching tonight, I love you. You know I love you. We're not going to agree on on some things, and this is going to be one of them because one of the things, and they're friends with the Signs, Sandra Signs. I'm not going to mention who it is, but they're friends with Sandra Signs. They're like, well, and I said, look, bro, it's just very, very simple. Yeah, in this case, you might want to say guilt by association. It's not only guilt by association, you know. There was a lot of mishandling of funds, and during the time that they were on the board, they knew what was going on. And I hate sounding repetitive, but one of the talking points, and we heard it from Commissioner de los Santos, we heard it from Jessica Tetro, and we've heard it from the mayor, and we've heard it from PUB. Is well, they subsidized with the Tenasca money, 54 million for the people of Brownsville. You know, and I said, okay, why are we learning about it now?
Yeah.
You know, why didn't we learn about? Because according to their spiel, 54 million of the money, the Tenasca money, was being used to subsidize individuals in regards to their payment because of the gas charge. We've all heard it, and I'm going like, okay, why didn't you tell us then what you were doing with our money? Why is it now that you were caught lying, cheating, and stealing? Why is it now that you all have an explanation for what happened with a big old chunk of that money, 54 million? Or did you try to fit it in there? You know what I'm saying?
And what was the reserve that was needed? Because in the audit says that there was a reserve needed, right? Or else we would be breaking our responsibilities. But at that time, they weren't worried about having a reserves, or I don't know. I mean,
it doesn't make sense. For me, it feels, and again, this is just what it feels like. For me, it feels like, okay, ya nos pescaron. Now, let's feed to them what we did with the money and how much little bit is left. And now let's figure out how we're going to get back to you. And you have to come out here and thank us for giving you what's yours. And that's what I find upsetting. And again,
So the commission knew that they were using the 54 million to subsidize it?
no one knew until after the audit came. That's when they started. Or after, and again, I will say maybe in 2019, again, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, when they started to say, oh, well, this is what's happening. But even then, did we ever learn about it? No one had ever heard about it. And this is what's, because estos no, como no dan brincos sin guarache, you know, if they've got a photo moment, if they've got something great that they want to tell people, they don't wait till they get caught. They immediately, mira, we're putting up a park. We're ribbon cutting for something for the community. So they always want to take credit for stuff that they do. Why didn't they take credit for it 2 years ago? Why are we just learning about it now? And I'll give you all one example. I ran against Rose Gowan. I ran against Rose Gowan. Uh, why didn't she come out and say, "Hey, we gave you a subsidy," as a talking point? We gave you subsidies with the Tenasca money, because we were asking at the forums. She, didn't want to show up. We were asking at the forums, what happened to Tenasca? We still don't have an answer. And 2 years ago, if the 54th million, actually was Tenasca money that was used for this to subsidize, they would have said it as a talking point. Well, we voted on, using that money to help the people of Brownsville. They didn't.
Now, this is why I insist that a lawsuit is needed in order to clarify these points, because this comes out in discovery. But I imagine that wasn't a talking point, because there's probably guidelines on how the funds that are collected can be used as far as this project, and that probably wasn't one of the uses authorized for those funds. But since right now nobody is looking whether that was authorized for Tenasca or not, they're saying, hey, you know what? We already gave it back to you. Even though that use obviously was not authorized by the people, but it might not even be authorized by the guidelines of the project, right? So then you're breaching contracts, you're deceiving people, you're doing a lot of different things.
I agree. And again, we go back into the same old thing. We have a point here, we have a point here, and we have no information in between. And then they get mad because you say, well, you're just you're just following the different points. You don't have all the facts. Well, give me all the facts. Give the community all the facts, because at the end of the day, the community are the stakeholders. The community, and they said it at the meetings. Y'all, I think Kayla, you were there. They said it. This belongs to the people of Brownsville. Well, then give me the information. Show me the facts. And look, guys, just prove us wrong. That's all we're asking for. Prove us wrong. Ni modo. We'll come back out here, and I'll come out here and go, es que la regué. I said something that was wrong.
A problem I'm having right now with anything that's being talked about is that there's no facts, there's no true accounting for the money. So everybody's just kind of guessing. Okay, we know that there's 29 million, but everything else, everybody's just kind of guessing. So I don't really know what there is to discuss aside from the 29 million until there's a true accounting, right? So that's pretty frustrating to kind of be, talking about all these options and things about money that we don't even know what is what.
What, Carlos? You would expect that from maybe an Erasmo Castro, that I'm going like, estoy viendo mi cuentita, I'm going like, oh crap, entró un cheque, I'm going like, oh, I've forgotten that I made that check, and I'm going like, oh crap, I might overdraft. But this is a cuentita, and I don't get paid $350,000 a year each, 3 top individuals. You
need to get sponsors.
Again,
you need to get sponsors to earn that money.
I'm going to do like como dice Frankie, send me stars. Another stars. Put the public back in PUB. I'm patiently waiting. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome in regards to the special peanut gallery. You know who you are. Thank you. I was first. Let's go to the comments. Thanks for everyone helping with the cause. It feels good to do the right thing. Only wish everyone felt the same way. By the way, Me, if you be at 12 noon, be there or be square. Power to the people.
So this is our neighbor, right?
Yes.
Ah, yeah.
Hey,
Dios
neighbor.
conoce. Y ya dijo nosotros, los últimos serán primeros.
You're muffled.
Am I muffled?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Your mic.
I'm using the computer mic. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Quítale el calzón.
Let me tell you, they're scattered all over the room. Click that. You need to work for PUB. Let me tell you, I'd be very, very rich. Good evening. Good evening. Hi, friends. Go live on PUB tomorrow. I think Frankie said he was going to do that, right?
I don't. Yeah.
I think you did.
Yeah. Good evening to all in Brownsville. Hey, Papa, you're supposed to be here tomorrow, right? Maybe. You know, they would have been screaming at the subsidy at the top of their lungs, being that they love to be acclaimed as the saviors of the community. Puro pedo, sorry, more lies. Ni ellos se las creen. Se la green, se la cree. Hey, John, we need to
Hey.
invite John on here. John's amazing. John, let me know if you have time and come on tomorrow. That'd be a great. Let me tell you, he's a fighter, man. He'd be good. I'll send you a message tomorrow, see if you're available. You know, and Carlo mentioned this. There's got to be individuals out there that are interested or willing, you know, to start, the process. I mean, the people here in the city of Brownsville filing a lawsuit. You know, it's got to happen, guys. It's got to happen. I think it's the only way we're ever going to get clear answers on anything. You know, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. On the
You mentioned,
financials. Yes.
And it's going to take years, but that's the only way.
Yeah, and you know, and this, I think, I don't know if you mentioned this, someone else mentioned this. Can't remember who it was, but they said, "Well, it's going to drag on for years." And we're like, "Yeah." At this point, what do we got to lose? You know, look, guys, they're wanting to give you pennies on the dollar. They're wanting to give you $600 and for you to shut the hell up. It's unacceptable. You know, as much as $600 might help some people right now, you know, they could take the $600 and shove it up their butt. You know,
No, I mean, we need to get it. And that's besides the point of everything, because that is only a part of it that they know of. So, yes, we've already, when there's accounting, you can say 29 has already been returned. Okay, so, but there shouldn't be a question about that.
no, but I agree with you in that these folks supposedly are professionals. You know, these folks are making a crap load of money. You know, and you know they still can't account for the money that they took from the people of Brownsville, because at the end of the day, you know, and this is what's very, very trippy. When we were fighting the Tanasca, and I'm glad that somebody out there is posting the old videos. When we were fighting Tanasca, you know, not even back then, they couldn't give us a clear amount as to how much money they had taken from us. This is what was trippy, because we asked, and you know, they gave us 35 million. I said 35 million, that doesn't make sense. And then they came out with no, it was 90 million. I think Tony Martinez said 90 million, and then Commissioner Tetro said 100 and some million. And then we started to, you know, work it together, and then we came up with 135 million. Well, let me tell you, we were still closer to the amount that they're saying now than anyone who was on the board or on the city commission at the time. No clear accounting. They had no clue. How can you not have a clue what you're doing with your constituents' money? You know?
That's what I'm saying, because part of the argument was we need reserves. So you would make sure that your accounting is correct so you have your reserves. But apparently they weren't so worried about having the reserves for anything.
Nada. Teresa's right.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
That behind every what man, there's a great woman. Every great man.
Yeah. Next.
So with the 54 million that they use for subsidy, how did they decide that they would like, oh, let's help them out because
That was part of the scam.
right. So then that's the point. That's I think that's the point I'm trying to make. If that was part of the scam, then they need to return that money, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
And again, and this is
Because
yes,
you're trying to shut us up with it about because oh boy, it's because we helped you to keep your bills lower, but we didn't even know that the bills were actually in true reality higher.
exactamente. And again, why didn't it come out years before when supposedly they started to do it? Because, like Teresa just mentioned, they would be patting each other on the back. Oh, we're doing great work for the people of Brownsville. We're giving you these subsidies. No one, I mean, honestly, anyone out there, anyone that's watching tonight, or anyone that sees it later on, anyone, when did you find out that they were subsidizing part of the gas charge, part of the bill? Was it before or was it after they got caught? And the other, and I don't think anyone knew about it before. I can almost I can put almost bet all of Carlos' salary on it that no one, that no one knew anything about it.
No. John Brusiak's salary.
Oh,
That's a good one.
no, that's a good one, guys. And that's what's unfortunate. You know, they didn't. Did they make it up? Now, why are we supposed to believe them now? After the fact that we learned that they've been lying to us all these years, you know, wouldn't you be a fool to trust them?
Yeah.
You know, I'm having these arguments with some of the people that are close to these folks. Like, no, that's what you have to understand. They gave the money back. Yeah. When did you find out about that? Because now we know. It doesn't work that way, you know?
No.
Because at the end, it's like if I steal money from you and then all of a sudden go, well, you know, I was doing the shows and, you know, each show you watch the show. So, you know, that's like money that you should have, that's how I subsidize it. You try to invent stuff, you know, along the way. It's not actual facts. And it's something,
And then
go.
go ahead.
Something
No,
Kayla
no.
mentioned is how do we, you know, how were those funds actually distributed? Because did they give to everyone a straight across the board a discount, or did the poor get more money? Because now everyone's saying, oh well, you know, we've got to take care of the poor, and it's also not true. And this is what Rudy Mireles has been talking about for the past couple of days. I don't know if y'all seen it. Rudy Mireles is upset. Yeah, he went out there and he posted how there is a Brownsville resident that's living in a hotel with her 3 children because her lights were disconnected minutes after the meeting.
And nobody's trying to help her, or
No, well, there's a couple.
as far as from the city or like a commissioner or from PUB.
But they were supposed to connect everybody right away.
Yeah, no, it was individuals from the community have helped her out by putting her up at a hotel. But again, it has to be the community. And look, this goes back to one of the first when all this happened, when we first went to talk to the city commission. I said, guys, y'all need to get the resources ready because the hurt is coming. There are no resources. She states on the video that she tried to call. She tried to contact PUB and say, hey, give me some more time. They said, no, get some money together. Or you're not going to get your light bill. Her 3 children are special or need special treatment. They need these pumps, these things, and she couldn't be with electricity. So it wasn't for Brownsville residents that helped out. How was she going to take care of the health needs of her children?
Wow.
That lady needs to be there tomorrow. Who is she?
Well, she is wanted to kept, and Rudy, it's on my page. I shared it. She wanted to kept anonymous. Because she's afraid of retaliation. She's afraid of retaliation. But
if anything, they owe her.
You know, we just passed a motion in regards to keeping the lights on for these people until February 2023. And minutes after the meeting, you're going to go disconnect someone who really, really needs their electricity. Everyone needs their electricity, but someone who has children who need that electricity. This is what's unfortunate, because at the end of the day, Rudy says on the thing that he, uh, 24 hours had gone by that he's tried to contact the city of Brownsville. No one is responding to Rudy Medelis anymore.
Does he not have friends in national news that could maybe come and put a little bit more, a bigger spotlight, a little bit more heat, more pressure, so things like this don't continue to happen?
Well, and again, I think and I know some people that have reached out. The only news outlet out there that would probably run a story on local Democrat corruption would be Fox News. The only ones, the only ones, because the others are going to, they're not going to buy their time down here, because that's what they kind of do. And again, I don't care for any of the news stations. I don't trust any of them. But Fox News tends to go, and y'all know this, hell bent forward on all the Democrat corruption stories. We haven't even heard from them. Haven't even heard from them. I'd love for them to come down. I'd love for them to run a story. It needs to get.
I feel like here a lot of people still don't even know. So how can it even reach to them?
Well, I'm hoping that again, Congresswoman,
we can make a plea right here on your show, that
CNN.
Since Mayra Flores is probably watching and she wants to shine a spotlight on this issue, can she talk to somebody in the national news and help us in that way, bring attention in that way?
Yeah, that and that's exactly what we're going for. And I'm hoping that she does. I mean, she comes out regularly on Fox News. Honestly, I don't care. It could be MSNBC, who I can't stand. I don't care, as long as there's pressure on these individuals to start doing their own thing. And let me say this, guys. None of this would have happened. None of this, if we all hadn't been screaming at the top of our lungs. None of it would have happened. Can you imagine if? And again, I've been screaming about this for years. Juan Montoya has been screaming about this for years. Now all of a sudden he's an Eddie Trevino fan, which it's okay. He's got to pay his bills. But we've been screaming about this for years. If we hadn't placed, and again, Ben Neese as well, he was out there screaming también. If individuals had not been screaming at the top of their lungs, show us, tell us, bring forth an audit. And finally these individuals decided, vamos a caerle la boca, let's do the audit. And mocos perro. Now it implicates everyone in that little clica. They've got to go.
They must have not expected this. It was this bad, right?
No. Oh, and the truth, Kayla, I didn't even expect that it was this bad. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I knew it was bad. I knew Martinez was involved. I knew Eddie Trevino was involved. Brugiak, the top three guys. I just didn't know it was this bad. To the point where, well, let me rephrase that. To the point that we now can prove through an audit that people were on the take. The wheels were being greased and their pet projects pushed forward. Now we have it in writing. So that's the part that I literally, se me salieron los ojos at 5 o'clock in the morning when I was reading it, and I read that. I'm like, damn. I was very, very surprised that they had actually placed that in the audit. That's very damning. They took bribes. They accepted bribes. Now, it's what Carlo was just mentioning, through discovery and everything else. Now we got to know exactly who took bribes from PUB, what city commissioner, what PUB board member, what other corrupt politico out there took bribes. And anyone and everyone that had anything to do with Hanasca and put that money in their pocket, they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, without a doubt.
I agree.
Kitty Cat, they were caught with their hands in the cookie jar, so now they're trying to backpedal and justify where they used the money. It's exactly right. But don't say how much did they keep in their pocket. It's- And I know she's not talking about Carlos. She's talking about eating, eating. Yeah, Jay Angela, I love you, Papa. Jay Angela Higo is a DJ from New York, and I have a crush on Jay Latte. Good evening from Japan. I never miss a show. All the way from across the globe. Good to see you, Celia. God bless.
He watches. Where's the national news?
Yeah, we live. Good evening. Good evening. BUB one or we won.
Still
Um,
fighting.
yeah, it is our
Siguen
job.
los chingazos.
Yeah, it is our job. Our job as a community to make them pay for what they've done. Anyone and everyone that has done this to us. I still don't get why individuals feel the need to defend these people. I mean, I'm still, why? And part of it has to be due, has to, is due because of a lot of folks, but they're my friend. I don't care if they're your friend. I don't care if you went to school with them allá con todos los ricos de St. Joe. Doesn't matter to me. You could have gone to St. Joe. You could have gone to Lopez, Porter, Pace. I don't care.
But when they say that they're my friend, I don't know that I could feel comfortable saying that, knowing that you all. I mean, let's pretend that he's part of it and he did that, and I'm the friend, but I'm still stuck with high bills. So I'm gonna tolerate it just for you because you're my friend and because you want to get ahead by stealing money.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do like, and I'll mention this. One of the discussions that I've had today is in regards to, well, y'all are going after Sandra Sines, and Sandra Sines, she's new to this. She's not. She is not new to this. She has been a part of that little circle, that little clica, for a while now. And look, I've offered, and I continue to respectfully offer to have a conversation with Miss Sines. Or with anyone on the PUB. Let's have a conversation. Let's sit down. Let's talk. If you want to go on live, we'll go on live. If you want to talk without being alive, we'll talk without being alive. But until the day that you can tell me what the hell you were doing, you know, helping out a part of esa clica de Tony Martinez, I am still going to have my doubts, And again, it's the same individuals, and Sarah Sines and it's not Sarah Sines, Sandra Sines and Sarah Langley were the two individuals that were out there fighting against the audit. We know, guys. We know you were fighting against the audit. We know that you were fighting in regards to keeping Bruciak. We know this. And the reason that we know this is because the other individuals on that board, guys, they're washing their hands of this. And y'all are the only two that are standing up for that corrupt little circle. Y qué coincidencia que it was that corrupt little circle that put you in that seat to begin with. And the only reason that they were placed in those seats was to protect the lie, to protect the charades. Because it doesn't make any sense. Out of 189,000 people, why is it the same ones on all these boards and committees? Why is it Tony Martinez's yes people? Why is it now Troy Mendez's yes people? Why? Jude Benavides, why? Como que si no hubiera nadie más en este pueblo. And I think, look, guys, one of the things that we've showed the community is that there's a group of people out there that are concerned and would be willing to serve. Why have all those other people never been given a chance? I mean, do you all honestly think that Susan Rubalcaba will ever be on a board and committee?
Probably not.
Not going to happen. But why not? She's outspoken. She's well versed. She is a business owner in the city of Brownsville. Gives back to the community, and she's been a business owner for a long, long time. She would be great on the board, but because she doesn't fit that little mold of someone who I'll say just for the fun of it. You know, they don't want outspoken people on boards and committees. They don't want individuals, despite the fact that they have all those credentials. And look, and I've challenged every single commissioner out there. Prove me wrong. You know, fill the GBEC board with individuals that are not part of your clique. You know, because a lot of times they say, and Commissioner Los Santos has said this. He goes, "Well, I got to know the person, and I got to vet him." Then bet everyone equally. Just because they're your buddies, your friends, your compadres, doesn't make them the most qualified to be on a board or a committee. They don't, especially committees that handle our tax dollars or our rates. My neighbors, hi neighbors, the processors are asleep. Processors are asleep by now, I'm sure. Oh, the princesses. Sorry,
Princess.
yeah. Hey, Billy Ho. That was me. Yeah, New York City. Princesses, yeah, I figured it out. How many CEOs will it take to destroy our city? How many CEOs and LLCs will it take to decimate the city? And that's what's unfortunate. Let's do it, Erasmo. Next week, thanks for the invite. Perfect. We got John Shergill coming on next week. That's going to be a humdinger. Let me tell you, John and I have been opposite sides of different arguments. We've fought against each other in different things. But I'm very, very proud that when the important stuff comes, anyone can. I've gotten phone calls from people who completely hated me. I got one tonight. I hated you. I know we've been opposite sides of different things, and I go like, you've been hating me. I don't never never even thought of hating you, but I'm proud, and not John, but someone else. But I'm proud that everyone in the community is concerned, and that many people in the community are wanting to come up and stand up for the people.
Hey, I know at least another person that did not like you that told at least 25 people to vote for you. So.
Oh, that was you, right, Carlos? You all like that. Thanks, Carlos. No, but yeah, and I think that's happening a lot. And again, it's not about the seat. And one of the things that I think that some people, and I'm very proud that it hasn't come out too much. I've done my best to stand back on some of the things, especially on the news reports and stuff. I definitely don't want anyone to think that this is politics, because it's not a subject that we started talking about when we said let's run for office. It's something that we've been talking about for years, and I'm proud that different folks in the community, John Shergold has stood up, Susan, y'all have stood up, Linda, Teresa, a lot of folks, Maggie, a lot of people, Agripina, they stand up and said, you know what, hasta aquí, we're dead, we're tired, never more, no más. What we have, one of the things that I'm very, very cautious in constantly reminding folks, we need safeguards put in place so this never, ever, ever happens again. I don't know how it's going to get done, but it's got to get done.
Oversight is the beginning. So either a committee or something that has oversight.
Yeah, that is not a part of that little clique. I love to see what they spent all the money on. The images would blow this scandal up. Yeah, that is why we need accountability. That is why we need a good accounting, and we have none. Good evening. Good evening. You're right. It's not fair what they did to us. It isn't. And everyone in the city, even if you're not part of the $59,000 consumers, everyone in this city, in this county, should be pissed. It's mind-boggling to see the citizens of Brazil focus on the reimbursement of funds over the enforcement of prosecution of the individuals who committed theft at a high degree. We're talking about felonious offenses. This is probably an attorney. Get your priorities straight. First, focus and push for prosecution, then push to get your reimbursement with interest, late fee, etc. Just food for thought.
I mean, we are, but because it's in the Fed's hands, we can't do a whole lot.
We're walking and chewing gum at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. uh, with that said, I don't think none of us has uh, taken focus off. They have to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Anyone, and I'm talking about elected officials, board members, PUB staff, employees, CFOs, CFOs, COOs, anyone and everyone that had anything to do with this needs to go to jail.
Getting money back is only part of it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and getting the prosecution on these people for sure will
Yeah,
hopefully make a stamp on future
well,
positions like
it's a
such.
it's a lesson to anyone and
Mhm.
everyone out there. You take from this community is watching. You're going to have to pay a price, and hopefully,
I
this
think pretty soon,
Go ahead.
pretty soon we're gonna have the PUB choir because everybody's gonna start singing. They're all
everyone's
gonna start telling. They're gonna
They're gonna start pointing
yeah.
fingers because they're not gonna want to take blame.
when the vice starts tightening a
Yeah,
little bit.
there's going to be a lot of beautiful music coming out from a lot of individuals. And that one of the things that I don't know if you said this, Carlo, or someone said this, that whoever sings first gets the better deal. So
Yeah.
yes, perfect.
Start practicing.
Sharpening your vocals.
Practicing el grito.
Del grito. Pero yo estoy en la Ciudad de México en un live.
So another
Let me
thing
tell you
that they were talking about at the meeting was the ideas of how to distribute the money. Did you get it to hear any of that?
how they were going to distribute the money. Well, I think
Like,
I don't think they have any clue. I think one of the that meeting tomorrow is going to start figuring. And
yeah,
let me
but they
tell you,
did throw some ideas out.
yeah. Well, part of the
And
ideas that they
Sampaio was
stated,
saying, trying to compare it to the San Antonio deal that just recently happened.
it's not the same. The San
And
Antonio
I
deal is not
kind
the
of
same.
didn't agree with something.
Well, the San
Yeah,
Antonio
go
deal
ahead.
doesn't. Far did the same thing a couple years back. That's one of the reasons why I was very adamant for the longest time. Cut the people a check. El problema. This is my take. The problem is, honestly, guys, if if back in 2013 or 14, when they knew it wasn't going to happen, the top guys, the PUB guys, when they knew that it wasn't going to happen, it would have been so much easier back then to give the money back, to do the right thing. It would have been so much easier because from then to from 2013, 2014 to 2022, you had a lot of people move away. You had disconnection notices. You had individuals pay reconnection fees because of the amounts that the increased rates that that they were charging. Individuals that couldn't pay. Individuals that passed away. You know, so all those 8 years, how are you going to figure it out? I don't know. But at the end of the day, they put us in this problem. Figure it out. Because if they would have been fourth, they would have been upfront at the start, hubiera sido un problema menos dificultoso para arreglar. Because they would have had to return the money to less people, you know, instead of now.
So I think I fall in that. Um, so like 2013 to 2017, my parents and I lived together, and then I left. We left the house that we were in, and my parents went off to rent another house on their own. So then my dad, we disconnected, and he connected on his own. So how do, like, you know what I mean? That's going to be
Yeah.
confusing. How do they manage that?
Again, ahora, something I guess hasn't been talked about much. Who are they going to pay to do this? how much is it going to cost us to actually do a clear accounting for the past 10 years? You know?
Well, already they were talking about how, so example, San Antonio, Sampaio said that they put 15% aside for low income families so that they could help low income families. So then he was saying, I think we could do better than that. I think we could do 25%. So they want to already, they're already talking about putting 25% off to the side for low income families, and then the rest figure out how to distribute to the people, right? But then he was saying that San Antonio also had an option of opting out to get your reimbursement. So he was like, and in my, if we come up with something like that, I want to say that my family and I would have no problem opting out and putting that my money, his reimbursement, into the pool for the low income families.
My question to you is, how can we trust them? We're going to trust the same people that screwed us over for 10 years out of $135 million. And now they say, well, we want you to trust us that now we're going to do the right thing. I mean, how can we trust them?
Yeah.
And
they're going to be holding the money. They'll probably put it in an investment and make money off of that money. Or gamble with it. And if they lose it, then they'll blame the citizens and say, it's your fault.
I mean, that's what they
and then
did.
how do they determine who gets what help in the low income?
It's not a good idea.
Again, my issue is, and it's maybe people have a different opinion out there. Can we really trust this PUB board and these city commissioners to now do the right thing after they screwed us over? And the previous commission as well, they screwed us over for 10 years. And they said, trust me, this is great for Brownsville. It's going to bring economic development. This is good for you. And we found out it was a bunch of bullcrap. So now they're saying, hey, trust us with your money.
Well, and how can you trust them to help the people that are in need when this time around, when everybody was in need, they were like turning people away? Well, we're just going to disconnect you. If you can't pay, we're just going to nobody was helping. And then the programs that apparently were out there were very difficult to get help from. I'll give you one. Again, how does a low income pool, I'll
give you one example.
Go ahead.
Rudy Mireles just posted a story about a woman with 3 children whose life was disconnected. They didn't help her out. They wouldn't return her phone calls. And this just happened this week. So these are the individuals that we're going to trust to handle 25% of whatever money they think they owe us when it's our money. It's like if you go get some guy to que te haga una casa, and then all of a sudden no te hizo la casa, pero tú ya le pagaste $200,000. Y dice, pues es que lo gasté. And, a la verdad te estaba ayudando porque te estaba cortando el zacate de la propiedad. I was doing something for you, so I kept it up. Yeah, but it's been 2-3 years. You haven't built my damn house. I want my money back. Pero te corté el zacate. So, no te puedo regresar el dinero. Te voy a hacer una parte, pero me va a quedar con un tantito para después seguirte cortando el zacate. Oh, screw you. Give me all my damn money back. And you could jail, And this is, I'm sorry. Call me negative, people out there. Y'all can call me negative. I don't trust them. I don't trust any one of them. None of them. Until the end. And this is one of the things that I shared with the commissioner. How can they regain the trust? I mean, I was already skeptical before, but how are you? What are you going to do to regain the trust and have those safeguards in place that are going to, keep people, believing and continuing to pay into the system? Because our form of government, we the people, we pay into this system. They're not doing us any damn favors. And my issue is they se ponen en una postura como que yo te estoy ayudando, vato. Screw you. You're helping me with my damn money. Our community's money. You're not doing me any damn favors while you're out there, eating steak at Lobster at an event that PUB paid $30,000 a table for with our money. Drinking champagne, and we're supposed to thank you. It doesn't work that way. And look, it's very simple. And I think one of the things that Carlos may mention, it's going to be a crap show, bro. Once there's discovery and once they go into detail in regards to where that money actually went to, it's going to be a lot of surprises, bro.
Yes, right now everything that anybody discusses is kind of big picture, scratching the surface type of discussion, because you don't know exactly the documents that those people saw, the documents that law enforcement is looking at right now. I mean, that's where you're gonna be like, that is outrageous. Now to circle back to your point about why didn't they stop it after 2 years and let it? I mean, you mentioned that the big part of the scam is the land. So buying up the land, you can't just do it all at once. You have to do it in increments, and that's a whole nother kind of worms that the people that were involved in those deals, like that that is another kind of worms, that there's a whole bunch of other people that are not part of PUB that were involved in those deals.
Yeah, the land purchases have always been the number one moneymaker for all these folks. And again, and look, nothing against the Madeira group. The Madeira group that were out there. God bless them. They're out there to do business. A lot of the questions that we were getting, on the backside were, find out where they got that land. Find out who owns the land that they want to put the arena on. That's where you're going to find the big time crooks. And I agree. And all anyone has to do, guys. And again, a lot of us don't have that inside knowledge stuff. But all you have to go back to any deal. I guarantee you, if it's the bridge to nowhere, if it's sports park, if it's Titan tires, if it's all these industrial parks that supposedly they build all the time, you go back to everywhere, and you're always going to find the same names selling the property or the same LLCs. That's what's unfortunate. But that's the number one moneymaker. It's not the only number one moneymaker, because these individuals, they're like Sylvia Atkinson. They had their hands in everything, everything. And at the end of the day, they might be able only to prosecute $10,000, like it was the case for Sylvia Atkinson, $10,000, and people would still come up to me and say, "Erasmo, you're saying that she stole millions?" She goes, "It's $10,000, Erasmo. You're full of crap." And I said, "Wait till you start seeing the documents that the FBI is going to produce." And after they produce the documents, people are going like, "Oh, it is millions of dollars." Because once you do the discovery, and what Carlos was mentioned, and you start bringing up all this back data, because attorneys use that to push the case forward in regards to what they really want to get you on, or what they can get you on. They start showing everything out there, and that's going to be really interesting for the PUB and Tenasca mess. After, please, sir, can we have some more? So, exactly. Why would you believe what they sell us now? Yeah. The subsidy issue came up after they got caught. Exactamente. This way, they figure that no one will look for the missing funds. I can't wait until the feds get hold of this. Well, according to Commissioner Los Santos and Commissioner Tetro, feds are here. If y'all watched the past video with Nerith and William Garza, at the 23-minute mark, they talk about the NASCA. She even said, and we're not going to use the money for anything else. And as well, she said that if the NASCA didn't come through, that they were going to find another energy source, but we didn't get that either. 100%. And this is why it's so important, guys, that we have all that information that we were talking about back in 2017, 2015, guys. And Yasmin did an amazing job. I don't know how she did it, but she went back through all my posts and she found all that damn information. I honestly don't know how the hell she did it, but it's amazing work. You know, it's amazing work because you go back to where they say all this stuff. It's amazing. I mean, and the God honest truth, guys. Some of the stuff that she brought to light, I'd forgotten.
Yeah, it's too
Ya es
much.
la edad, ya estamos viejitos, you know. So I was very grateful, you know. And what happens is, you know, with age, you start to like, I know I heard this somewhere. Like when I mentioned right now, I think Carlos said this. You know, I heard it somewhere, but you know, once she brought it forward, I go like, ya me acordé. We did talk about that, and I did watch it. A lot of people watched it, and they were very amazed. If they had a formula for figuring out how to subsidize, wink, wink, they can reverse the formula to compensate us by giving it all back. There's probably a kid in high school right now that can do it.
Yeah,
They're probably
probably.
shouldn't that so-called subsidies have been itemized on your bill? There
True.
would have been a notification or a notice, something. We had nothing until after they got caught. Because
And I guess
again,
we can only take their word for it, right? That they were subsidizing.
and and how much is their word worth?
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying because that's what
Yeah,
they're asking us to just take them
yeah,
up
yeah,
for what they're saying,
yeah, and
which is how they did the tranza to begin with. They wanted the city commission to take them up for what they were saying.
yeah, and it says in the audit, you know, they went out there and said, "You got to believe this. This is the best thing for Brownsville. It's going to happen," even after they knew it wasn't going to happen.
So, how do you feel about the people that question the validity of the audit?
It's unfortunate, you know. And again, I think that a lot of these people are you know, trying to cover for their friends, you know, and probably cover for some of their own misdeeds, you know. And one of the things that I think that Commissioner Dos Santos mentioned or implied was that there's some individuals on that board, you know, who clearly were not a part of that scam, you know, or didn't know and are not connected to Tony Martinez. And there might be a couple who, you know, who are going to demand that the truth come out. So that's going to be a good thing. I still think everyone should go though. I still think everyone should go. And let's start new.
Even the
The good looking
Webito
one?
one.
Yeah, even the good looking one. Sorry, Hellman's mayonnaise. You're handsome. Gotta go. The Hellman's. He's probably gonna give me.
Todos les cambias el nombre.
When you can't remember, you just figure out some other name for it. I was AOB and CEO. Thank you. No, it's okay. Yeah, I know that they were having. I actually got into a little discussion with Maggie. She's like, "Well, I'm not going to be on the show because I got to be out there watching AOBE for him." I'm going like, "For what?" I said, "You got to
What is
be
that?
on. You got AOBE is a teacher association," and I said,
Oh,
"You know, those people are already going to vote for CEO. You know, the 16 people that were watching, they were going to vote for CEO. You need to come over here and attend the needs of the thousands of people that are going to watch this later on, and you know, try to convince them to vote for CEO." We actually had that fight. I don't know if you want me to say that, but I said it. Mayor Mendez blocked. Prissy blocked me. Judge Trevino blocked me. I tagged them on the post, hoping that they would answer, and after several posts, they wouldn't answer. What do they have to hide? El que nada debe?
nada
Nada
teme.
debe.
Did they block her from their official sites or their personal sites? Because I don't think they can block her from the
They
official.
cannot. They cannot. But again, it's like one of those BISD things. You should not be out there parading a candidate. And to the bus driver people, you cannot be in BISD uniform holding up signs for these candidates. It's wrong. It's unethical. And that was mentioned to me today. And they said, "Erasmo, can you post it out there?" I go like, this is the administration that parades candidates that they want elected, like Denise, and all these other folks. gente and parade them, when they know they're not supposed to. So, you know, not going to do anything to the bus drivers. And again, bus drivers, yeah, start using your head for something other than feeding off the migajas que les tira Prissy, Cowan, Little Eddie, and all these other people. And the lady is pregnant and been in threat
Oh,
of
the
miscarriage.
mom of the three kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't see all that story, or I don't know if Ruby knows the case.
So,
But
does anybody know if her stuff was connected today?
as of
Because you
yesterday,
would
it
think.
wasn't. As of yesterday, it wasn't. And I'm sure that Rudy Mireles would come up with an update, say, "Hey guys, they're connected again."
I wonder if that's the lady that Dr. Cisneros was mentioning at the meeting.
It might be. It might be. I'm not sure. But again,
Because right before the meeting ended, Mayor Mendez asked PUB staff if they knew anything about that, and this gentleman got up and he was like, "We're not aware of anything, but we're trying to get on it, and we're gonna find out and see what we need to do." Puro
it's
pedo.
not true. It's put about. It's not true. I don't believe it. I tried with Will Ripley. A lot of people have been tagging a lot of the national news sources out there, and I appreciate that. He's from CNN. Pobre señora. Pobre señora. Yeah. Good evening. I apologize for my lateness. Lucy,
Super
like the
late.
ping. Super late. Ya nos vamos. If you're watching on YouTube, only for likes, guys. Get on YouTube and like it. ¿Qué les cuesta? Click on the damn button, guys. Not that she is any help is she can grant is appreciated. Let's see. Telemundo is a good news outlet to keep pushing the story, especially to the Spanish-speaking elders. I think we should protest at the bus station because much of the older people don't know. Yeah, we gotta find ways. I already hit the like button. Bueno, todavía no, menos mal. 60, there's 5 likes. Mocos perros. Yeah, subsidies. What subsidies? I call BS on these subsidies narratives. If it wasn't explicitly printed on the bill, it's a lie. I remember when the pandemic was happening and everything was shut down right around the time we were going to start opening back up. Judge Intervino did one of his public announcements on television. He said something that to this day, I'm sorry, I can't read the whole comment, guys. Sorry. That when you say, Mocos perro. It's one of my childhood things. And when you call it Emma Chema my assistant is taking care of my babies. She sends me pictures every day. Rujiak better get something else greased very soon. Hey, gallegos. Can the people who did the auditing start the class action lawsuit? I don't think that. I don't think that they're accountants.
You need to have been, yeah.
Yeah, they're accountants. They're not attorneys, but they suggested, recommended that it be taken to lawsuit. I'm going to go real quick through the comments because it's 6 o'clock and I need to go get the.
I know you've been really bad about it.
I try. It's crazy. But what it's saying is that a lot of people are commenting. It's just a good thing, guys. It's a good problem to have. In 2013, 2016, banned 2017, Leonardo Garcia, Brugiak, and some guys' signs got raises from under 100,000 to 300,000. Yes. Maggie for mayor. No. Se le quite. I told someone that if one of my brothers did what these people did, I would call him out on it. That's right is right, 100%. Zeke for judge. Zeke peleando con la. The reality is, as friends, those friends then the clica end up getting a piece of the pie directly or indirectly. That's what's unfortunate. Susan Rubalcaba for district attorney. She might have to have a law degree. Sandra Sines cannot say she had no involvement. Sandra more is coming. Get your bond money ready. I agree. I think Sandra Sines hates us by now. That's a little bit. I don't think she wants to talk to us. That's why people need to learn to separate friendships and business. Just because you're friends doesn't mean that you owe loyalty. No, 100% right. I'm driving around with my neon green "Get Sandra Signs Out" poster on my Gucci. El lío de ratas se cuidan uno de los otros. Sunan will not be because she's a threat to the raterio. Susan, yeah. Recaba for sure. She might need a little ticot. Same people and businesses that pay into their campaigns are usually the same people that get the vendor contracts. 100%. Roy is full. He didn't believe a word he said when he was on it. Was on. I believe BISD City PUB don't want people who are outspoken and well versed. They stick to their clicas so they can get ahead. Then they're done that. When they're done that, yeah. Imagine not voting for Erasmo just because you don't like him, but voting for the other person only to find out that they stole from you. Yeah. Did Shergo run for Democratic chair? Yes. You've come a long way, baby. Love you too, Mateo. And no one will say anything because they were told by legal advice not to say nothing. The CEO has 60 days to answer. If not, he will get fired. He should have gotten
It's
fired.
funny how they kept so hush that he had gone back into the building and no one till the day no one says anything like what
Nothing.
he went back for.
He should have gotten fired day one. What I'm afraid is going to happen. What I'm afraid is going to happen. He's going to come back and say, "I retire," and then he's going to get a golden parachute retirement, 100%. That's what's unfortunate.
Not if the feds get.
Well, maybe he can enjoy it for a year before he goes to jail, I guess.
Yeah. He shouldn't even enjoy that. We focus on the money because the community is in need of money more than the sending anyone to jail, but we want both.
They should give us his year's salary and.
That was a dad joke from the chulo abogado. Yeah, boom, wow. I know that was not me. I'm not the chulo abogado. Reimbursement is a minuscule part of this.
He covered.
Prosecution is the main focus. Yes, I agree. Kick him where it hurts. Do you think the Republican Party will become the MAGA party, the party of the Greens, Jordans, the Barts? No, I think locally, the Republican Party is a lot different from the national Republicans. I think they're all crazy, both parties. That's so funny that they don't know how to distribute money, but they took the millions fast. They know how to put it in their pocket, that's for sure. Miss B, you are correct. Roy got more upset at me and called me out on my post than he did about PUB fiasco. I stand by my post. I think it's easier to give the money back to the ones who have been in PUB a short time than end up with the ones who were there the longest. Also, I feel like we should have the option for money or credit because people took that money back for that. You know, the commissioners back then knew. Why didn't they say anything? Yeah, I'm going to say that a lot of commissioners now knew and know. Should have said something.
I don't understand what Jessica Chatro was saying that because she kept getting threatened. So if you're getting threatened, shouldn't that be accounted for? I have to say something. Like,
yeah. One of the things that, and again, I'll say this, guys. I've received threats, all forms. I had a talk conversation with a friend today. I'm waiting to get arrested for something. You know, I'm waiting for the law enforcement to come. I'm waiting for retaliation. I'm waiting for it because it always happens. It always, always, always happens because that is the type of response that we get from the city. With that said, because let me tell you, when I was at BISD, I got accused of horrible things by Baltasar Salazar, Sylvia Atkinson, Chrissy, Drew, and Minerva. And Philip Cowan was out there like, oh, well, you know, we got to check this. And everyone bought it. And let me tell you, no me quedé callado. You know, I didn't ride off into the sunset. That same night, I went out there and I blasted him. I said, F you. The things that you're saying are blatant lies. It's not true. You cannot stay quiet or else they win. You cannot stay quiet or else they win. The truth is no longer there. The trust is no longer there. No. How can we trust them? Brownsville needs Susan on the board. Isn't that what you're supposed to be fighting for? My mother is low income, widowed, and on Social Security. I'm willing to opt out to help the less fortunate. Yeah, I think a lot of individuals are going to opt out. That's not the issue. The issue is we cannot, no nos podemos cegar and take the bait of, and look, like that, here is the squirrel tactic. Focus over here and lose focus that they did it to us, they're doing it to us today, and they should never be able to do it to anyone ever again. Can't lose focus on that, ever.
And there's no trust for them to actually do what they say they're going to do.
No trust whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, how can we trust them? Now they're saying, we'll keep the money and then we'll distribute it, to those that really need it. I don't trust you. I don't trust you with my money. I don't trust this PUB with our money. I don't trust the city commission with our money. I don't trust the county commission with our money. This is why they all have to go.
Next
Because
thing you know,
Fumi,
it's the low income is going to be the friends, and they're not going to have to pay any light bill for a year.
yeah, okay, and the cliche phrase, trust me once, shame on you. Fool me once. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. And that's, I tell you, old age, you start losing it.
I do that a lot, and he's always making fun of me.
There's a movie called Boondock Saints.
Again?
He watches movies.
And there's a guy that always mixes the sayings up, and they call him.
That's me.
You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, I know. Possibly not. Other than so negative, he's positive. Ghost LLC is 100%. That's how they do it. The zoo is the best money maker fiasco. Just watch it, and it will slip. That's why we need to watch. Can Susan put on a class on how to be a badass researcher? Make more Susans. Brownsville needs more Susans.
Minions.
Why aren't any safeguards for blatant illusion, insider trading? There should be. After you lose credibility and trust from the public, millions of funds go unaccounted for. That should disable the 7-vote majority to disband the current board and start fresh. Yes. The other old video, when they are all mayor candidates in a panel, they spoke about being good stewards for our money. Yes. Is the FBI involved? I'm going to say yes. I'm on an old video, 2017 for PUB board with Nerith and Tony. We're discussing about lowering 50% of the rates, and they voted no. Yes. That's the meeting I've been talking about that I went to hoping to say something positive. Christian United are last-ditch efforts at perpetrating the squirrel tactic. Yes. They feel that spoon-fed us BS all these years, that they can continue to do so. They are wrong. Yes, public pages. Visteiro era una señor que lo querían mucho, los bus drivers for BISD. Mom and the one child had pneumonia. Oh, the mom and the one child had pneumonia. Yeah. Let Erasmo get his lobster dinner from YouTube. Guys, I'm not going to get it with 4 likes. He'll be picking up the proverbial carrot. No, I wouldn't even have the la concha de lobster to eat with 4 likes. Elon Musk, PUB, that'd be great. Will you be PUB me tomorrow at 12? I will not be there. I will be driving back to Brownsville. Elon Musk needs to pay by UBS. BUB should not charge us. No. Why does Casco help with the reimbursement since he's a trusted CPA? No. I think it's beyond his pay grade. It's past my bedtime. Yeah, me too. We gotta go. Do you think the county will censor you like BISD tried? They will try. If you are elected, they will try. No, Bujek will be picking up the proverbial carrot or putting it somewhere else in jail. I don't want to say where. It's still a rated PG show. Let's alert Mom Musk that's going on this morning. Guys, thanks for coming on. Share Gold will be on next week with us, hopefully Monday. Guys, have a great evening. Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer, still doing all that crap. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to get to me. No show in the morning. I'll be in flight. No morning show. Hasta luego. See you tomorrow at 9 p.m. from the studio. God bless.
Bye.